pounds of sewage, sludge, and garbage are dumped into the world's oceans. 19 trillion gallons of waste also enter the water annually.
The problem of ocean pollution affects every nation around the world. This is especially true because water is able to transport pollution from one location to another. For many years, chemicals were dumped into bodies of water, which concerned while many countries have banned such behavior, it continues to go on today.
As the world has industrialized and its population has grown, the problem of water pollution has intensified. The simple fact that millions of people live along coastlines and near rivers means that these bodies of water are likely candidates for heavy and destructive pollution. With a rapid increase in population, urbanization, and industrialization reduced the quality of Philippine waters, especially in densely populated areas and regions of industrial and agricultural activities. The discharge of domestic and industrial wastewater and agricultural runoff has caused extensive pollution of the receiving water bodies. This effluent is in the form of raw sewage, detergents, fertilizers, heavy metals, chemical products, oils, and even solid waste. Each of these pollutants has different noxious effect that influences human livelihood and translates into economic costs. The adverse impact of water pollution costs the economy an estimated 67 billion pesos annually. The government continues its fight against worsening water pollution by espousing and including among its priorities environment policies, legislations, and decrees that address the growing need to control water pollution. In the last few years, the government has employed economic instruments such as pollution fines and environmental taxes.
Meron po bang epekto sa inyo ang pollution sa tubig?
Meron din. Gawa na sa basura eh.
Lalakad kami dyan sa
Kasi
ako daw, lakad daw ako ng
sa mga tao, dinadasin na basura yan. Walang
hindi po ba kayo nangangamba or natatakot na yung nakukuha nyo po isda galing sa maruming ilog?
Hindi naman. Gawa ng nililinis naman ng isda na yan. Hindi mo naman masasabing kumakain din ng basura isda na yan. Kinakain yan hindi yung mga bigla sa ilalim.
Access to clean and adequate water remains an acute seasonal problem in urban and coastal areas in the Philippines. The National Capital Region or Metro Manila area, Central Luzon, Southern Tagalog, and Central Visayas are the four urban critical regions in terms of water quality and quantity. The government's monitoring data indicates just over a third or 36% of the country's river systems are classified as sources of public water supply. Up to 58% of groundwater sampled is contaminated with coliform and needs treatment. Approximately 31% of illness monitored for a 5-year period were caused by waterborne sources. And many areas are experiencing a shortage of water supply during the dry season.
Nearly 2.2 metric tons of organic pollution are produced annually by domestic, agricultural, and industrial sectors. In the four water critical regions, water pollution is dominated by domestic and industrial sources. Untreated wastewater affects health by spreading disease-causing bacteria and viruses, makes water unfit for drinking and recreational use, threatens biodiversity, and deteriorates overall quality of life. Known diseases caused by poor water include gastroenteritis, diarrhea, typhoid, cholera, dysentery, hepatitis, and more recently, severe acute respiratory syndrome or SARS. The number of water-related health outbreaks, including deaths reported in newspapers, is going up. However, awareness regarding the need for improved sanitation and water pollution control, reflected by the willingness to pay and connection to a sewage system where they are easily available, is very low. The annual economic losses caused by water pollution are estimated at 67 billion pesos. These include 3 billion for health, 17 billion for fisheries production, and 47 billion for tourism. Losses due to environmental damage in pollution. The Philippines has many water-related laws, but their enforcement is weak and beset with problems that include inadequate resources, poor database, and weak cooperation among different agencies and local government units. A Clean Water Act is now being deliberated in the Congress. There is considerable underinvestment by the government in sanitation and sewage, indicating a low spending priority, though ranked as high priority in the Philippines Agenda 21 of 1996. Only 7% of the country's total population is connected to sewer systems, and only a few households have acceptable effluent from on-site sanitation facilities. Estimate shows that over a 10-year period, the country will need to invest 250 billion pesos in physical infrastructures. While LGUs recognize emerging water quality problems, they are constrained by high investment and operating costs, limited willingness to pay, restricted space available in the low-income urban areas where sewage is disposed of indiscriminately. Some of the government budget, which is directed mostly towards water supply, or 97% of the total, needs to be diverted to sewage and sanitation. Individuals are not yet aware and willing to pay for these services, and government incentives are just justified in the short term for the larger community-wide benefits. Water resources. The country is endowed with rich natural resources, including water, which are essential for the country's economic development and in meeting its Millennium Development Goals. Water resources of the Philippines include inland fresh water, such as rivers, lakes, and groundwaters, and marine, such as bay, coastal, and oceanic waters.
Express the same things but with different words. We acknowledge the same curve and those might have hurt. It's like the last line you draw to remind a past time, a fast minded feeling of freedom, please to be recognized. And I can hear your doctors calling from here to say, kill bias, independency, and I'll kill the seal, cause the young himself is stealthy mass appeal. Where's my news? Where's my news? If it's like every word slipping through my mouth has been used, staggering like the old man feeding a third. With my glass I reflect and have the things that I've learned. A windowless frame in a transparent room, filling up cracks with plastic assumes. Shape shift, nuance, venue. Don't stop dreaming cause this ain't over. Wreck up your life until you get sober. Don't stop dreaming cause this ain't over, my friend. Don't stop dreaming cause this ain't over. Break up your life. Don't stop dreaming cause this ain't over, my friend. I've risen myself as I walk along the weary, moldy watching. I found myself staring, building up an empire of my great desire. Well, the fumes from my thought process takes me higher, higher and higher, ain't stopping there. My avalanche of color starts over there, and I've got the solitary key to go through. Ray and delicious, but traps can be so vicious. Prepare for the ultimate takedown. Part-time experience might save you from deliverance, but will it serve the greater cause?